Hey everybody, how is your Friday night doing? We've got a couple, well, it probably looks a little bit different. One, because we're on this channel on a Friday night, and normally we are on Comic Talk Live on this fellow's channel over here. Um, and of course, we've got John's Comics with Kids. We don't have Ryan or Greg. I know Greg is at Baltimore Comic Con. He's hanging out with Mars right now at Baltimore Comic Con, so that's pretty cool. How are you guys doing tonight? It's been a minute.
Yeah, I'm doing good. It's been one crazy week for me. I've been having like allergies all week, so I'm like feeling kind of bad, but I'm here to talk comics, and today's the only day where I'm not feeling that bad, so I'm feeling better.
Well, that's
So
Do,
good.
do
that's a
you think
plus.
that this show made you feel better?
Yes, I think so.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
Doctor approved.
Yeah.
4 out of 5 doctors recommend Comic Talk Live.
Yep. How you doing,
John,
John?
yeah.
So my goal tonight was to prove that you don't need Bearded and you don't need Ryan. So I'm gonna be surly and complain a lot so that you feel like Ryan is here. I got a
Oh,
ton of
nice.
DC books, so you can feel like Greg was here. I even
Yeah.
have books that are Batman adjacent, so I can even get into
Ooh.
some of that if you really want. So
Yes.
I'm representing the brand.
Yeah.
As we were like trying to figure out like who's going to be here this week and like what channel are we going to do it on and everything. And then Greg was like, okay, I'm at Baltimore Comic Con. I won't be on. Ryan was like, okay, I've got to do Comic Tom's mystery mailbox thing,
Yep.
putting it all of it together. And I'm like,
His mailbox.
I'm like, I guess I'll just go ahead and like do all the voices, like maybe get Ryan and Greg puppets. So
Yeah.
maybe on Comic Talk Live one day there will
Right.
be a little puppet act. Hey
I'm
Ryan,
down
how are
for
you
that.
doing?
Yeah.
Hey Greg, how are you doing?
Ryan's like, I hated this book. It was not depressing enough. And Bearded's like, I need more Batman. There you go.
Yeah.
Thank
See,
you.
I got it. I got
Thank
it all
you.
There
in
you
my
go.
bag.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say hi to a couple people in the chat. We've got Travis here. Hello, TM Nerdy, one of my favorite people. Happy Friday from Steven. And then JD Barry, happy Friday. And then Unruly Simeon, hello. Bobby, what's up? What's good, my friend? And oh, my friend Scott, shameless self plug. I don't know how much we'll get into it, but I have seen the new Dune movie like 5, 6 times already. And Scott and I are going to be talking about the movie tomorrow night on Comic Shop News. So excited about that. And you've seen Dune, right?
Yeah, I saw it,
And then,
but not
you
6
haven't.
times.
Okay.
My issue is like it would be me and my wife that would watch it, and having girls, our age, the girls that we have in our house living with us, my daughters. It's hard to find 3 hours of uninterrupted time.
Yeah. Yep.
It's 2.5, so.
Oh, that makes it far more manageable.
Just leave them at home with the
Right.
books.
Right.
The books can so just give them the Dune book, and the Dune book can just babysit them while you and your wife go watch the movie.
It
That
didn't
would
work
be
out
my
well with Hunger
parenting.
Games.
Oh. Hello to John Big Daddy Ross. Hello also to Bruce. How's it going?
Grandpa.
Grandpa.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Grandpa, for being here. Uh-oh. Chaos, yeah, your name did end up on the banner. You were supposed to be
Yeah.
here, and you got caught. I'm just kidding. John Stout, hi all. How's it going today? Let's see here. I don't know if I said hi to Shane Lorison. I think I did maybe up there. And then we've got Venom Spawn and John. Hi, friends. And let's see, JT, hello. And I think that is going to, no, jumped on me just a little bit. It's TikTok star, John's Comics with Kids. Yeah, you pretty much are a TikTok star.
I prefer sensation, but it's fine. Whatever.
Okay. Excellent. So let's go ahead and get into the first book. I know all of us were talking about like what books that we had and hadn't read. I've got a couple here. The first one on the list was List is not showing up here
Whatever
for
you want.
me.
You just grab a book, Jen. We'll just roll
know
with this.
what?
This is how we're gonna do life.
Let's do that. I know you said that you read some DC books, but did anyone else read Superman Son of Kal-El #4?
This guy.
Ooh, let me see that cover.
I'm spoiler for the end of the show. This was my cover of the week. This is the B cover, which it legitimately is in the story where he is lit on fire like this. So I was like, okay, good. Now this cover is even better, because I thought, oh, it's just a cool Inyuk Lee variant, but then it was like, no, it's part of the story. Like, this is legit. So dang, yeah, inside the rubble of the house there.
Yeah, this book was pretty intense this week. Like if you're reading Superman, I feel like it's a overall intense, pretty book. Like it deals with a lot of subjects, but spoiler alert, in this book, Ma and Pa Kent, their house burns down, gets destroyed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I was gonna say they bought the farm, but no, they lost the farm.
They lost the farm. Yeah, but they were pretty okay with it. That was kind of surprising to me, because they're just like, oh, our house, don't worry. We basically moved all of our stuff to a storage unit. Don't worry, like all the good stuff's there.
I feel like there was room for a really good bit of comedy there, where Mom and Pa Kent are just like, yeah, but it's like once a month this kind of happens, so we're kind of used to it by now. Like we have a contractor who just knows, he comes out every once in a while and just redoes the barn.
Yeah, or maybe like just a new barn just like automatically pops up.
Yeah.
Because they're just so used to it by now. So they were just not phased at all.
Not at all.
They're like, we're just going to go hang out with the neighbors. Yeah. You two kids just play safe.
Even like, yeah, the animals are fine. We keep them a little further away from the main house. And it's like, all right, well, there you go.
They were prepared.
Yeah, they're definitely used to this. But at some point, people got to question, why do villains from other galaxies always seem to attack the Kenton house?
Because they know. And in this it reveals that the house is actually supposed to be under the protection of the Justice League.
Definitely.
So I thought that was pretty interesting, because Superman's off doing his own thing right now. He's not actually on Earth. So.
And I do think that I was hugely disappointed by how quickly Wonder Woman gets owned and how awful they draw Flash in this issue. There's a couple of drawings of Flash. I'm like, holy crap, what happened? Who's that guy?
Yeah. Yep.
Right.
Hey, Bearded. Bearded is in Baltimore right now, hanging out with Mars. So they got to hang out today. So I'm super jealous.
Yeah, I feel bad for Mars. That's too bad.
The Kents grow barns on their farm. They've got a barn farm. Thank you for that, Shane.
A lot of barn raising.
Yeah.
They keep the Amish really busy out there.
I've really been liking this series, and I got caught up like maybe 2-3 weeks ago. I was behind an issue or two, and then finally got caught up. So glad I did.
Are you reading that one, Will?
No, that unfortunately not.
Still be.
Yeah, I haven't
Tom
really
Taylor,
read any I haven't read like any Superman titles, so.
I have not really either. Obviously, I've read Super Sons, which I'm a big advocate for. I think it's a great read. Little Damian and Jonathan like wreaking havoc across the DC universe. Always a good laugh. So this is a fun way to look at like, hey, what would Jonathan be like slightly grown up? And I like, to your point, Jennifer, I love the way Taylor is making this a coming of age book. Like Jonathan is trying to find his identity. And I think we never really had that story for Superman. It was always like he was a kid or a teen, and then he was Superman. And this is like a great look at the challenging transition of responsibility and all this stuff that he's going through. It's almost like the Spider-Man years, where it's like, with great power comes great responsibility. It's a great catchphrase, but now I got to live it. And what does that look like? And so in that way, I think it's very interesting to see him going through all the weight of responsibility. And he doesn't have Alfred or whatever. He's got Lois, which is phenomenal. I love that like Lois is his like support system, because dad is gone. So he goes to mom with stuff. And if they can use Lois in each issue in a fun way, like what they did in this one, I'm down for more of that.
I agree. And he, for anyone who hasn't been reading this, this is Superman's son of Kal-El. So this is Jonathan Kent, not
Yep.
Clark Kent. So he's literally trying to figure out all of these things, like who is he? And even in the first issue, he's trying to go to school, like be a normal kid, and that cover gets blown immediately.
Which was phenomenal. If they had made this
Yeah.
about his secret identity with the blonde wig, I'd have been like, this
Oh.
book is garbage.
Yeah,
I love the
that
fake out.
was a garbage wig. Yeah.
Yes, it was horrible.
Tom Taylor, I think, is like on every single title that I'm reading right now is just absolutely crushing it. So,
Yeah.
some of
So
the
if you
bit
haven't
of-
been reading it, I just recommend it. Check it out. I think I know it's getting a lot of publicity for hot topics or whatever. I just think it's
Yeah.
good Tom Taylor. I like Tom Taylor way better on ongoing series than on miniseries. I have issues with Deceased. I'm not loving Dark Ages, but like all of his like ongoing stuff is so much more impactful. He does a great job of taking a single character and then like really threading deep in to see who they are. And he did it great on All New Wolverine. He's doing it on Nightwing, which we'll talk about later.
Nightwing,
Yeah. So great stuff.
Some of the so I do have some news, and I'm going to go ahead and try to share some screen. And in it, let's see here, DC Comics blasted. Now granted, this is from Fox News, so they definitely have a very particular type of way they want to spin this.
Sure.
But DC Comics blasted for changing Superman's American Way motto, a distortion and a disservice to fans. DC Comics, Superman's motto, fight for the American way. So instead of saying the American way, I believe they're do they even like show truth, justice, and the American way has been there for over 80 years, which actually isn't true. They've only done it for maybe the past like 50 or 60, and it's still changed. So they're actually changing it to truth, justice, and a better tomorrow. How are you guys feeling about that? About that motto change?
Well, personally, I haven't heard Superman say that motto, maybe just because I don't pay that much attention to Superman or anything like that, but I don't know. I guess it's what DC wants to do, so I don't know. Yeah, like I said, I don't pay that much attention to Superman, so.
I mean, I think to the credit of our community of comic collectors, most of the people who are outraged are not comic readers. From what I can tell, like the large majority are just not, and they're clicking a clickbait article and reading it and losing their grip. To Jennifer's point, I saw a couple of great creators, TikTok, Instagram, whatever, create videos discussing this, and I learned a little bit. So the motto, American Way, came in 1948 as part of the television series. It's part of the original like live action television series, and it had a little bit to do with like the Red Scare and then trying to like make it like make Superman not necessarily what he was up beforehand, but like try to create this American identity for him. And it lasted for a good while, but then faded away. And in fact, they haven't used that framework in the comics for an incredibly long time. That term, truth, justice, and the American way, has not been used for a long time. And yet again, another thing that I thought was interesting was they're utilizing it in Taylor's run, where it's not Superman. This is Jonathan Kent Superman. And they're using it as a great way to differentiate Jonathan from his father, which is the point of this comic. Like the point of this comic is, who is Jonathan Kent as Superman? In much the same way you would say, who was Dick Grayson as Batman in that great Grant Morrison Batman and Robin comic? It was Dick Grayson trying to decide, okay, if I'm Batman, what does my Batman look like? Right?
Yeah.
Just like, was it Lucius Fox's son was Batman, right?
Yeah.
What is he as Batman? Because they're taking on a persona for sure, but like Jonathan is not his dad. And he's repeatedly in these 4 issues butted up against this concept of like, well, what am I as Superman? Because I can certainly stand in my father's shadow, but like, how do I define what I believe in? And I think to the DC's credit, they're willing to shake things up and say, okay, maybe Clark is truth, justice, and the American way, but Jonathan is something different. He is his own person, and they're allowing him to have that breathing room, which is a real impressive thing.
That's so true. And, I think that a lot of times that happens, especially when characters change up a little bit differently. I think that a lot of this happened, especially with Marvel 5, 6 years ago, where like all of a sudden characters like Wolverine were no longer the Wolverine. And there was this big outcry of, well, don't make that character don't have them replaced, just make them their own new character. And I think that's exactly what they're doing. I think that people have asked for this, but it's not in the right way. So I think that there is just generally a lot of fake outrage. And to your point, I think that most of the people who are outraged about this don't even read the comic books, because then you would know it's not actually Superman doing it. And to this point too, what we were talking about, Superman is not bisexual. It's Superman's son is bisexual in this. So I think that there's just a lot of that like fake outrage of people who don't actually even read comics and
truly,
this whole...
and they want to distract from important things in the world by getting your hot button clickbaity stuff to talk about.
Yep. And
I just looked it up, by the way. 1993 was really when they stopped using American Way, and Superman Returns and all the films that came after, Lois and Clark, all these shows, they just said he stood for truth and justice. They actually got rid of the American Way back in 93. They stopped using it. So it's been a long time since it was actually part of the Superman mythos or in the comics or utilized there. So it's not, it's been gone for a while. They're just replacing it now with something else.
Yeah.
Yep. So true. Let's go ahead and thank you for all of that. Let's go ahead and head on to our next book. And I'm just going to go ahead and I didn't read this one. I don't know if Will read this one. You said you did. Thor.
You got your green screen on. Look at you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the cover is like
green screen on.
Empty. Yeah, you got your picture is like a couch in the background, a living room.
If you go to your settings, you can turn that off.
So I didn't read Thor, but did you read this one, Will?
Yeah, I read Thor. I've been reading Thor since issue number 1. Like I say every time we talk about this, but this issue is following up from the last issue when they were talking, or when Thor's hammer Mjolnir got stolen from the Avengers because they were watching it because Thor basically gave it up and said that he didn't want it anymore. So he just left it at the Avengers Tower, saying that they have to watch over it until he feels like he wants it again. And in the last issue, when he decided that he wanted it, he got a call from Captain America saying that it was stolen. So what does Thor do in this issue? He goes for help trying to find his hammer. So he goes to Throg.
I heard about this Throg, yeah.
The Thor version that is a frog. If people don't know, that's on the cover.
I love
Is it Puddle Jumper? He has a name. It's like something Puddle Jumper or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. But
I will say, if I'm Thor and my hammer gets lost, I feel like Captain America owes me more than a phone call for losing that. I'm just going to say, it's kind of like if your kid loses your car when you loan it to them. I kind of feel like you gotta do that in person.
Yeah, like you could see Thor having a conversation with Throg in his little tree hut. And pretty much what happens after that point is that Throg decides that he will help Thor to get his hammer back, but he decides he wants to create his own team. So he goes and gets Lockheed, Lockjaw, and then Hunan and Munin to go and find the hammer for Thor. And they call themselves the Avengers because they're actually going to keep an eye on it when they find it, is what they're saying. So it was a fun read. I enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to the next issue to see if they find the hammer and who stole it. So yeah, I enjoyed it.
I just bought this one because the cover, because Throg is on it. That's like the only reason why I pre-ordered this like a couple weeks ago. So would I have to read all of like the previous ones to get this? I mean, I guess it's only 18 issues, so I could probably read 17.
I would say that to get this one, you would have to start around like issue 15 just to understand this story arc, because there's been 3 so far. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. John, did you read it or no?
No, I will at some point read this run because I'm hearing very good things about it. But I was so into the Jason Aaron run of Thor. I was just so in love with everything Jason Aaron did with Thor. I could not possibly imagine the Donny Cates rock and roll method of changing it all up. And I'm sure it's great, but I still have too much nostalgia for what Jason Aaron did so magnificently that I kind of wanted to just like get some breathing room before I tried another. I broke up with a real romance there, and I don't know that I'm ready for another love story yet.
Well, let's go ahead and get into some other news. Let me see if I can go ahead and share my screen again.
JP, I am representing both Bearded and Ryan here, and in that way, I can complain and whine, and also talk about a ton of DC books. Because for the first time in a long time, I bought one Marvel book. No, sorry, 2 Marvel books, but like 5 DC books. This was great. Bonkers.
All right. Well, speaking of DC, ooh, Batgirl. Casting rumor could tease debut of fan favorite character. It looks like after years in the works, DC's Batgirl movie is officially in production. Fans are eager to see the world of Barbara Gordon / Batgirl realized in live action. Leslie Grace now cast in the titular role.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is. Do either of you know who that is?
I'm not super familiar with her, so I can look her up and see what else she's done.
I think that's going to be the actor that's going to be playing her.
Yeah.
But there is.
But like who? What else has she been in?
I'm not sure, but the character that she's playing is like a fan favorite in the character in the Batwoman comics. So it seems like fans of Batwoman in the comics are really excited to see this happen. So. Yeah, I haven't heard too much about this.
She's a singer. She's a pop singer. She's got a few records and things. She was in the movie they did recently, In the Heights, which was a musical by Lin-Manuel Miranda. And so she was in that. And I believe that's on Disney Plus. I think it's one of their stories. But she's an actress and singer in The Heights, if you've seen that.
Yeah. So Jen, if you scroll down on the article, you have that tweet or the breakdown of the character a little more.
The casting call. So here's the casting call. Here is, and it looks like it was done by Gail Simone.
Yeah, right there.
Let's see here, Alicia Yo, a fictional character created by Gail Simone for Batgirl ongoing series. Barbara Gordon's best friend and a transgender woman. At the time of her debut appearance, she was noted for being the first major transgender character written in a contemporary context. That is excellent. That was one of my first introductions into Batgirl. So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I've got a very active cat today. He's got like the zoomies right now.
Nice.
Have you read Gail Simone's Batgirl or?
I have not.
Yeah,
shame on me.
Yeah. I know I've collected some covers from that series, but I haven't read them yet just because they're oddball issues, and I just like the covers on them. So yeah, I think that's about it. That's the only interaction I've had with the Batwoman series.
Got it. Yeah. Well, Batgirl, because the Batwoman series, Batwoman is completely different.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go well, actually, Batwoman is Kate.
Push the glasses up in the center when you do that. Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. I'd really like to see not just like that, but the whole world of that. So,
did you see the? I mean, I'd have to look for it. Somebody took a one of I want to say it's an Art Germ Batgirl cover with Commissioner Gordon capturing his daughter, right? And they replaced and put the actress they just cast, and they put the current Commissioner Gordon in the background. So they used the actors' faces to recreate the cover. It was really cool. Look, I'll see if I can find it, and then I'll screen share it.
I love that because as soon as something like that gets announced, these incredible creative people are I'm just going to do this so people can imagine it. So I really appreciate that. And it looks like JP saying the Omni of that run is still available. Yeah.
Nice.
All right. Well, John, if you're filling in for Greg, you have to read like 1,000 Batman books. Yeah. So it has
Yeah,
to
I
be
know.
in Sinister War.
I'm not
Yeah.
looking forward to that.
No. All right. Well, let's go ahead and do another DC book. I know that I've been reading the series, and speaking of Batgirl, speaking of DC, anyone else read Nightwing this week? What'd you think? Oh, Will, you go first. What'd you think?
Yeah, I enjoyed Nightwing. So this is like taking place throughout the whole Fear State event that's going on now. And this issue is focused around uh, Dick and Barbara and their relationship and trying to solve this whole thing with a character named Seer, who is like kind of like the evil version of Oracle, and she's trying to take down everyone and kind of like rule. But as they're trying to like take down this very very high tech computer, Seer, she uses the fear gas, on Dick and Barbara, and they have their thoughts going through their mind, and it turns out that their biggest fear is losing each other, which I thought was very cool. It shows the connection between those two characters and how close they really are, and earlier in the book it was talking about how Barbara texted Dick and how she said there might be a problem and he was already there just because he cares about her so much and doesn't want anything wrong to happen. So just seeing that whole connection and trying to take down this thing together, I thought was really cool. But yeah, I really enjoyed this issue, and I am really digging this Nightwing thing since issue 78. So yeah.
And I love that in this, it kind of pokes fun at what's happening with Fear State, because even Barbara says something along the lines of, as soon as like Gotham needed your help, you left Bloodhaven, and like you were starting to do something there, and
Yeah.
you go to Gotham. So I thought that was a pretty nice nod to, we are not in the like regular mainline series of it. We're in Fear State right now. John, what are your thoughts on another DC book? Did you get this one?
I absolutely did. Yeah, I've been on Nightwing from the jump, just because I really love the character and I was excited to see him get his own book. And it's been a very entertaining read from the get go. I thought really great storytelling, as we mentioned Tom Taylor earlier. I was very disappointed by last month's issue. I feel like
I
that
think
was
everyone was.
Oh my gosh, it was such a slap in the face, and it felt like, oh god, are we just going to get a crappy tie-in book? This is going to be awful. This issue redeemed the last one for me, like made a much better story. I loved the stuff with Barbara. I thought it was a great combo. I still don't necessarily get. I totally get that DC wants him to be over in Gotham for this little Fear State thing. I don't think story-wise they justified his, I'm going to make Bloodhaven a great new place, but I got to go for a quick, I got to run. I'll be back. I'll be right back. That transition didn't really work, but I'll get over it because Tom Taylor's talented, and I love the characters that are playing around in this swimming pool.
Yep. I agree. This issue definitely did make up for the like just absolute, I don't know, out of left field issue that was last month's issue. Definitely appreciate this one a lot more.
Yeah, and I want to take a minute to talk about the art inside this book. I
Yeah.
thought the art was amazing in this issue, and I got the variant cover for it. I got the variant cover for this issue, and I think this is one of my favorite pages. This is when they were on the fear toxin, and this is their fear. It's like Dick getting shot in the head with an arrow, and it's like showing their biggest fear. So, and the way it's like laid out, like having this whole page of that, and then showing the connection there. I thought this was a really cool 2 pages. So yeah, I really enjoyed the art inside this book.
Yep. All right, let's go ahead, and I'm going to go to another News story. Okay. Let's talk a little bit of Star Wars, I guess. Oh, sorry, this isn't going to be Star Wars. It's going to be a little bit different. So Mark Hamill addresses if he'll appear in James Gunn's new Guardians of the Galaxy projects. Thanks to his adventures in a galaxy far, far away, fans have been hoping that Star Wars actor Mark Hamill could make an appearance in upcoming Guardians of the Galaxy. So with production on Guardians 3 right around the corner, fans knowing that Gunn was also developing a Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. Plenty of speculation that Hamill's appearance in Marvel Cinematic Universe is just a matter of time. I'm a huge fan of James Gunn. There's no doubt about that. I've seen all of his stuff from Slither through the Guardians movies and think that he's great.
Please make this happen. Please make this happen. Please make this happen. Please make this happen. I will say I have a major man crush on Mark Hamill. I think Mark Hamill's phenomenal. He is like my nerd god. He's like up there with, it was Leonard Nimoy passed away, and now we got Mark Hamill taking that spot for me. And George Takei also right there, also way up there. So would be so cool to have him as a character somehow. And of course, of all the films that MCU has going right now, the series that he would mesh perfectly with is definitely Guardians.
Who would he play though?
Yeah.
No clue. No clue. It would be awesome if they had loaded him in with the Sylvester Stallone Guardians team, right? Because they in Volume 2 they had the original Guardians squad with Stallone and Yondu's crew. They could have easily worked him in there because they had a bunch of great cameos thrown in there.
Yeah,
he would have been a fun addition. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out, but nothing's coming to mind right now.
Yeah, chat. I feel like I want to know.
He'd be great for like a mocap voice actor kind of thing too, but you'd love him on set, of course.
It's the perfect chance to do.
He's too tall for him.
It's the perfect chance to do the Joker crossover into Marvel.
Right.
Yeah.
His Joker is so freaking good.
Yeah.
So rumors are he will be the High Evolutionary.
That could work. I mean, honestly, I'd be willing to accept him in any form at this point.
Yeah.
Just do it.
All of it, just community theater style. All the voices, all the parts, just him running around on stage, and I'd watch it. Yeah.
Right? I'm all in.
All right. Next book on the list. Let's go ahead and do an indie book. This book I think is so underrated, but I'm so glad that a lot of people are reading it. Who else is reading Not All Robots?
This guy, because it's easily now I think the best book I'm reading month to month. Like I feel like that's where I am with this. Issue 1, I was like, I really dig this concept. Clever, funny. Issue 2, I was like, holy. Issue 2 was better than issue 1, and I think issue 3 is right there with it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of an indie book I am reading right now that I'm enjoying more than these 3 issues of Not All Robots, and I can't think of anything. I'm really at a loss. Die is over, so I shed some tears. I'm moving on. Not All Robots is phenomenal.
Wow. I wouldn't necessarily say it's my favorite, but I do think that it's up there, and I do think that it's underrated. I'm still glad that a lot of people are reading it. And I'm really surprised that it's done by AWA Upshot, because this could easily be like a, I don't know necessarily vault, but I feel like it could easily be an image book. So
it feels like Boom Studios or something to me. Yeah, definitely feels way above anything I've read from AWA.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like as far as the quality with the writing, and I think that's obviously all due to Mark Russell. But so the whole premise of this is that in this like near distant future, capitalism has basically wiped out the need for most humans to work and replaced it with robots. The one career that hasn't been taken over by robots is hairdressing. So there's this event where a robot kind of goes crazy and levels the city of Orlando, and I guess a lot of Florida. And so people are like now trying to think like, is my robot that lives in my home and does all the work in my home, am I next? Basically, I think is what they're saying. And then right now there's these like anti-robot uprisings. And I think that this is very cleverly, like, having a conversation about kind of, like, the world we live in and a lot of, like, things to say about the world, um, but making it very clever, for sure.
I saw a video on Instagram quite a while ago, and it was like something kind of relating to this, like how robots are like kind of taking over and doing like the human jobs. And the video was of a tattoo, and it was, like he was doing the robot was doing the tattoo, and the artist had the picture of the tattoo on the tablet, and he clicked play, and the robot started doing it on the person. Like it was perfect, and I was like,
Oh,
I don't know.
I thought this was
don't
gonna be like
know.
not all robots all of a sudden, and then the
Yeah.
guy's arm got ripped off.
No, but it was like doing everything. It was like going going right over the picture from the tablet, and it was just like
That's cool.
doing it really fast, and it was like, ugh,
I think
don't
that
know.
would, I mean, I've seen where robots, or at least like robotic appendages, will be controlled by doctors or surgeons, and I guess maybe it has a much better success rate or lower failure rate, if that means the same thing. I don't know, maybe it does, but um, I feel like when it comes to tattoos, it's a very personal thing, and I like it's not just that; it's like the conversation that I get to have with my tattoo artist.
Right.
Um, Shout out to my tattoo artist Dawn in back in Florida. Um, but I miss the camaraderie. I miss the just hanging out with her.
Sure.
So I think that that human element, I mean, maybe, I mean, a robot could probably replicate that. And
Well,
even Scott says,
in this universe, they joke that the only jobs humans can still get are in any kind of hair design, cutting,
yeah,
stylist kind of position, because robots can't be trusted with the knives and scissors and everything to blades to cut hair. So like they're like the vaulted level of human existence now. The job that is most valuable for humans is hairstylists, and they're like leading the human side of this universe. I love it.
yeah.
So
I think,
people are mentioning Mark Russell in the chat. I have loved his Second Coming series. I think it's a really fun. Volume 1 is amazing. Volume 2 I liked a little bit less, but still really enjoyed. And I read some of his DC stuff. I didn't really care for that. I like him more as an indie guy. But yeah, very talented writer.
I read the first issue of this series, and I really enjoyed it, but unfortunately our shop didn't get issue 2 or 3 of it, so I was like, but yeah, I want to go back and get those 2 issues. I really enjoyed issue number 1, and I'm already 2 issues behind, so hopefully we can get them.
wait, well, Will, I heard that you went and you got some really cool books this week, right? From your shop? Or
Oh
shop that you
yeah,
normally go to? You went and got like some issues like 50% off, right?
yeah.
What'd you get?
I went. I don't have them down here. I already put them away. But I used a special birthday gift from the person sitting across from me, Jen. I got gift cards to my own, my LCS.
Nice.
And I went there and finally used the cards. I wanted to save it for something special, something that Jen really likes as well. So I went in there and I basically used the gift card to get the whole saga run. I'm only missing I think 15 to 20 issues now, and I got them all for 50% off. So yeah,
well
and they were
played.
all like $3 to $4 a piece.
Boom.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
What issues are you missing?
I'm missing the 1 through 10, and then most of the teens, and then I'm missing the last issue before it took a break, and then just like random issues throughout 20 and 30. I think it's only like three issues throughout 20 through 50. So yeah.
Got it.
But yeah.
Because 54 was the last issue that came out, and
Yeah.
55. So
It's coming
Saga,
back.
for those who don't know, is like my favorite freaking series ever. Maybe other than like Sandman and Batwoman, but Saga's finally coming back after a 3-year hiatus, and it'll be back in January of 2022.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. I'm really glad that you were able to get that.
So cool.
Yeah, I'm happy too. Thanks, Jen.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and share another news. Let's do this. Did I already do this one? Yeah, I did already do this one. Okay, I'll stop sharing that. And this is the last piece of news that I have right here.
Yeah, I haven't read the Mark Russell Flintstones Chaos. I'll have to look for that. A bunch of you are mentioning it.
Yeah, that's actually it was really, really good. Like I never expected to like a I never expected to like a Flintstones comic,
Right?
and here we are. And I think it came out in like 2016, 2017, and
Yeah.
man, it was
Seems like
excellent.
everybody in the chat's all about it.
Yep. So this part of the news, Hayden Christensen on returning to Star Wars with this Ahsoka series. Um, Rosario Dawson is starring as the fan favorite character, and Hayden Christensen coming back into the fold of the Galactic Empire. He's going to possibly reprise his role as Anakin Skywalker, aka Darth Vader. Spoiler alert there for anyone who's not familiar with Star Wars. Um, I'm not really watching too much like Star Wars. I kind of left The Mandalorian behind.
Sure.
I feel like I should be watching it because she makes an appearance at the end of The Mandalorian.
I'd
But
be
I don't
curious
really
to know
know.
when this takes place.
Yeah.
Is he going to be in the Darth costume the whole time with somebody else doing the voice? Because obviously, I don't know that he can do James Earl Jones's voice.
Yeah.
Or is this going to be like pre-Darth Vader? You know, he's on the fringes of becoming evil and he's training her, kind of
Ooh.
stuff. I don't know.
I think
Curious.
that would be an interesting. I think that would be the interesting way to have it. Like that. I don't know. I think that that's something that I necessarily haven't seen. But once again, I'm a very, very, very casual Star Wars person.
I know that the fans of the animated show, and I don't know, Will, if you've watched any of the. I thought you watched a lot of the animated Star Wars,
Yeah,
Clone Wars, and stuff, right?
I watched most of the Clone Wars, but my dad is super hooked on all of the animated Star Wars. So when I heard about this news, I was kind of not sure who he was or what his role was, and my dad flamed me for that. So I guess I have
Sorry.
some work to do watching Star Wars.
But didn't they? I think in some of the animated shows, focused a lot on Ahsoka being
Yeah,
trained by Anakin and kind of their
yeah,
relationship.
that was the Clone Wars,
There you
if I
go.
remember correctly, where it was the whole show was kind of based around them too.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
Chaos is a big fan as well in the chat. I will say I've only watched a couple animated episodes of Star Wars, and my girls would just they weren't liking the style of animation, so they only watched those two, and then they were like, "I'm good." So just wasn't for them.
Well, I think this might be our last book. You guys correct me if I'm wrong. But Catwoman, Lonely City.
Oh, you got both. Look at you.
I did. I know. Will, did you? Okay, I was like,
Ooh,
wait,
look.
Will, did you get that
See,
one?
split
Okay.
the difference, and then you got both.
Ah,
There was
Yeah,
also
I
like
love
a
this cover.
jock. There was like a jock, like 1 in 25 or something, right?
yeah. That was
Yeah.
obviously the only one that I didn't get.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's expensive. Plus,
Will,
you
do you
can't
want to
really
go?
read that one. That one, the 1 in 25
Oh.
with this like magazine style format. The second you open it, it completely damages the whole thing. So,
Will,
yeah. What did you think of this book?
give me one. Sorry, give me 1 second. Sorry, you guys go ahead.
Okay. Will, what'd you think?
I enjoyed it. This is my first ever really big book.
When you say really big book, do you mean like this, like Black Label, like prestige format?
like the size of it, like the width and the height.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is like for comparison for people that don't know, like this is the regular comic compared to it. But yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do with it because I don't have any pads for it. And frankly, when I was finding out about this book or reading about this book online, I didn't know that was gonna be a big book. I was just reading what the book would be about. So yeah, when my dad came home with this and I saw the big book, I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. So probably gonna sit on my bureau and I'm gonna take care of it so it doesn't get damaged or anything. But
yeah,
talking
it
about
needs a magazine bag and board.
Okay.
Which sorry, it's annoying.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do. But going to the story, this book is like set in the later years of these iconic characters' lives, and pretty much Catwoman's an older lady now, and she was in prison. And the book starts off with her getting back to her own old ways, like getting back in the Catwoman costume, going out and fighting the bad guys and doing what she was doing best, like hopping on top of buildings, doing that sort of thing. And that's just only in the first 1 to 2 pages of the book. And for most of the book, it's about her getting to that point after being released from the prison and getting back to her day-to-day lives, like going back to the place where she was staying and just seeing if she could still get in there. And one of the parts that I thought was really cool was that her cat was there the whole time waiting for her to come back every single day. And just seeing her trying to get back through the motions, get back to doing what she was doing, trying to remember everything. And the funny thing is that like everyone in this book uses online money. So she goes to a cafe to buy a latte, and it's like $20 for a latte and a scone, I think. And she was like, $20. So she hands him cash, and the guy behind the counter is like, "Oh, whoa, cash! What are you doing?" I mean, everyone here uses online money, and she ends up having to go somewhere else to where she can pay cash. But I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, they call it G money, Gotham money.
Yeah, and like after going through all that, you see her get back to her old ways, and you see her going to a bar where she sees Killer Croc, who is older now and has an awesome hat on. For people that don't know, I'll see if I can find a page real quick.
There he is.
Yeah, right there. And they basically decide that they're going to work together from now on and be a team like they used to be. And it shows how how she lost Batman. And I really enjoyed this book overall. I thought it was a really good read. I'm definitely want to get the next issue. But yeah, I enjoyed it, and I wanted to talk about the cover real quick. I love how it's in black and white, and her eyes are blue. I just think that's a great color usage at that time. Yeah, I enjoyed it, and I will definitely be picking up the issues from now on.
Who did that variant?
Let's see if I.
It looks like almost looks like a Joel Jones
this
style.
Is Cliff.
Cliff did all of it. He did all.
Yeah.
Oh.
So the variant, the only one that wasn't his was the Jock cover then. Okay. Because that does not remind me of Cliff's style, which is why I didn't get it. I was like, I want the one that really reminds me of Cliff Chang's style, because I really do think he's an underappreciated artist. Yeah. But that gives me Joel Jones vibes.
Yeah.
I had to double check because I'm like, wait, is it Joel Jones? But yeah, both of the covers except the Jock one are Cliff Chang.
There it is. JP saying the same thing.
Yeah. Did you read this one, John? What did you think?
I really enjoyed it. I am a Cliff Chang fan, so I went in with like, he's doing a like large format style book. He's writing and drawing it like it's about Catwoman. Check all those boxes. Yes, I am in. Yep. You know, and so I was very pleased with this. Just like Will is saying, I love the way. So for me, and I've said this a ton, everything I love about the Batman universe is like you could pluck Batman out, and that's all the stuff that I really love in this universe. So this book hits me in the right spaces because it's got great villain cameos, Penguin, Two-Face, you got Killer Croc, you mentioned. All of that circular stuff I'm enjoying a ton. And then, Catwoman as the centerpiece. They even have a moment where you see her closet is still there, and it's got all the different costumes that she's had through the ages. I was geeking on a lot of that. So I really enjoyed this a ton. But I also could understand people feeling like the plot has yet to become anything beyond typical. Like there's nothing like truly elevating this yet. It's just fun fluff, and I'm enjoying the fun. I can enjoy it as really quality fun fluff. but there isn't anything really edgy to it yet, or anything really different and original to it. It's just another Elseworlds Gotham kind of book, but it's a really well done Elseworlds Gotham book.
Reading the comments in the chat, I'm seeing that people didn't like how they changed up Killer Croc's backstory.
I don't remember hearing his original one, so I wasn't stunned by that difference. I don't know that I know the distinction, so if anyone wants to mention it. Yeah, I'll pull out the Joker too, JP. Yeah, take Batman and the Joker out, and then everything else I'm probably in on.
This book, when I was reading this first issue, it reminded me a lot of Tom King's current run on Batman Catwoman. But I know Mars is going to hate me for saying this, so I hope Mars isn't watching, but I like this so much better than I liked Tom King's Batman Catwoman, because it's set in this, I feel like it's going to do a little bit of that, where it like jumps through time a little bit back and forth the way that Batman Catwoman does, where Batman, so spoiler alert, Batman in this book is dead and Catwoman is getting framed for killing him. And so she's in prison. At the beginning of this book, she's getting out of prison and she's dealing with life on the outside. So hence the like getting used to this new type of money. And that's why she's like, what are you talking about? Coffee and a scone for $20? That's ridiculous. So she's trying to navigate all of this. And not only I think she's trying to get back on her feet, but she's like, why am I trying to do this in a right way? Like, I'm a thief. Like, let me just go ahead and like steal some stuff and get some money. So I really appreciated the that storyline, and I really appreciated the like noir feel to this. Like Cliff Chang's artwork with this almost reminded me of Darwin Cook. I don't know if that's a fair comparison, but yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, me too.
And for me and my girls, we fell in love with Cliff Chang when he was doing Wonder Woman, and we have all those trades for that Brian Azzarello run.
Yeah,
and his artwork really suited that sort of ancient Amazonian kind of, where they had all the gods and goddesses and everything, and it also suits here in a fun, and Scott mentioned it in the chat, a fun kind of Mazzucchelli-esque kind of style that does give me a little bit of Year One vibes as well.
Mm-hmm. Have you and or your girls read Paper Girls?
I've read Paper Girls. I haven't finished. I still have, I think, one trade paperback I never got to. It's just sitting in the closet there.
Got it.
But my girls have not read it yet. I'm sure
I feel like it's kind of, I feel like it's a little bit borderline because it does deal with like some adult subjects and like things like that. But I feel like your kids, your daughters are just like so much better than I was at that age. So like they could, handle it. But anyways, I fell in love with Cliff Chang with Paper Girls.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Well, the only other book that I know that I had, I don't really know if anyone else read it. I'll just go ahead and bring it up. And it's doing that thing again where it's like...
yeah, you haven't changed the setting, but it's fine. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We got you.
Refrigerator Full of Heads. What did you guys think of it? Because...
I have been waiting all night to talk about this book.
Oh, thank God.
As a matter of fact. You can just leave right there. But yeah, I've been waiting. Like I said, I've been waiting so long to talk about this. I read the I'm not sure if this follows up to the last series, but there was a series before that's called Basket Full of Heads that I really enjoyed. And this one I loved. So I'm just going to break it all down like I did on Catwoman. This book starts off with... I just want to say that this book is very violent and aggressive. That's why it is DC.
It's called Refrigerator Full of Heads. If anybody goes into buying this book with like, where's the puppies? Wrong book.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to give a
freezer.
warning.
The puppies' heads are in the freezer full of heads.
But this book starts off with these like robbers breaking into this place, trying to steal this dagger that's enchanted with this spell on it. And they break into the family's place where they have it and stowed away with a bunch of other artifacts and pieces that would go to a museum. and they take it, and the family's like, oh, this is nothing. It's only costs money when it's in the museum, and it's nothing special, so you can just have it. No one cares, and that sort of thing. And it's not even real. And then the robber goes, oh, it's not real. You say it's not real? Why don't we test this out on you? So he stabs him with it. And the thing that the spell does, it makes him paralyzed and alive still after being stabbed in the heart. So he's on the ground, like bleeding out. He's still alive, still feels everything, can't move, and it's just like paralyzed and can't do anything about it, can't talk or anything. So it's just like the worst position to be in. And from that moment on, they realized that there could be like these more out there. So when they're out and about getting into trouble, they fall down into a river and come across another one of these things, which is the enchanted axe, as you can see on the cover. And when they find it on the cover, when they find this axe, they decide that they're going to take it with them and they're going to watch over it and make sure nothing bad happens with it. And I think my favorite part of the book was when they found this axe, because it after that point on, it turned into a basically like a Jaws homage thing. So like the rest of the book is just like a reenactment of Jaws, but with the axe. So like if you keep me on full screen real quick, the shark like jumps onto the boat just like in Jaws. And they have the small boat. It kind of looks exactly the same from the movie.
That's awesome.
And I just loved this. And you see it like jump on, and the girls or the two of them are like on there trying to fight for their lives. And then you see in the bottom right here, that they cut the shark's head off with the axe. So yeah, it's a pretty violent book, but it is very interesting. It's pretty funny. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, I thought it was a lot of fun.
I really appreciate your breakdown of this book a lot, because I feel like I read it and I remember some parts, like I remember the dagger, and I remember the Jaws part, but I feel like there was a lot of other stuff that I was like didn't really remember. So I feel like after listening to you like describe all of that, I feel like I do want to go back and reread it and like get a better perspective, because like you just hit the nail on the head with it.
Yeah, and I realized that I didn't misspoken about. I don't know if that's the right word, but I feel like I messed up talking about one of the parts in it, and I said that they found out that there's more out there. I want to clarify and say that they didn't know that there's more out there. They just happened to stumble upon the axe. So that's my bad.
Wow. Okay.
But
So my question for Jen then is, you read this during which of your Dune viewings?
I read it on probably my second one today, and that was probably my problem, because I have been so focused on Dune today. I told my partner, I'm like, you need to make peace with the fact that Dune is going to be on HBO Max for the next 30 days, and you need to make peace with whatever you thought you were going to watch for the next 30 days, because it's just going to be Dune on a loop for 30 days. Yeah.
You basically spent like 18 hours in the last week so
Yeah.
far watching it.
Yeah.
So you got to get to that 24 at that point, right? Like you got to get to the 20.
At least one day.
I've watched 24 hours of Dune.
Yeah. Well, tomorrow I'm off work. And tomorrow night, me and a couple friends, like I said, we're actually going to be talking about the Dune movie. Yeah, it's going to get real. So. Because
well, I hope to watch it by then, but I don't know that I'm gonna have enough time to watch it before the Dune over discussion or the big Dune to breakdown. But I can watch the replay later.
Excellent. Alrighty, so that's pretty much all of the books. Typically, what we do is we talk about like our favorite book of the week, total. We also talk about the cover that we liked the most and the interior artwork that we liked the most. Do you have that book or those books?
Yeah, I think I'm ready.
Yeah, me too.
I will say I finally broke down and got a hardcover that people told me to buy, and it would rank
Mhm.
high on all of these lists, but it's
Yeah.
it's a hardcover, so it's a little bit ways back. But I'm finally reading Wonder Woman: Dead Earth, and yeah, everybody was right. Everybody was right. I just took me a while to get around to it. I read issue 1 when it first came out, and I was like, Wonder Woman looks a little weird in this. I'm not really enjoying it. Now I've read
Yeah.
Beta Ray Bill. I get the art style, and I can appreciate this a lot more. So this would rank high, but I'm not going to count it. So
I got that one last year and was reading it, and I think I appreciated Beta Ray Bill even more because of Daniel Warren Johnson's writing and art style as well,
isn't that
because I
funny?
enjoyed
So
that book so
like
much.
you,
Yeah, like kind of
wherever
opposite.
you find your in, Daniel Warren Johnson, incredibly talented.
Yeah.
All right, so we do. What do we do? Cover. What do we want to do first? What are we doing?
Typically, we
Cover
do
and
the
interior.
cover and interior. Yep.
All right, Will, you want to go first? Do I go first? What's going on? What do we want?
Yeah, I can go. if you
Jennifer
want
has to
me
go last.
Okay.
My interior of the week goes to Nightwing. I love the interior in this book. Like I said when we were talking about it, and like how I said, just that main page where they're inside the fear toxin, and just that page right there.
Yeah,
I think that's
it's a
what
great
really
one.
does it for me.
Yeah.
And then my cover of the week is the Jenny Frison Catwoman cover. Yeah, so I love this cover by Jenny Frison featuring Harley Quinn on there. So yeah.
That's so funny because I had that cover picked for my favorite cover as well. So
Yeah.
I'm going to try to come up with a different cover to be my favorite one.
Ooh. You guys can't agree. That's not how this works.
I know. Okay, I know what it is.
So yeah, interior artwork. I'm gonna go with Lonely City. I geeked on Cliff Chang earlier, but I just really like seeing him back in prominence and having so much room to play and being able to write his own stuff. I mentioned loving this Inyuk Lee Superman, Son of Kal-El cover, so I'm gonna give something else a little love here. We haven't talked any X-Men, so this Trial of Magneto variant with all the awesome pink owls and, of course, Scarlet Witch in the center, which I believe the artist is Oscar Vega, if I'm not mistaken. But really, really a fun variant that I picked up this week. So there's a little X love for you folks. So I am still me.
Well, Catwoman Lonely City was going to also be my interior artwork, so that got stolen. But I'll go ahead and I will also do a Trial of Magneto. But I'm going to do the Peach Momoko, but it's magic. I
The
don't
green
know if
screen variant.
the green screen variant, whatever the hell's going on. There's not even really green in it, so I don't know what's going on there. But I'm using my computer for this. I normally just stream on my phone, so it's picking up all this stuff. So anyways, Trial of Magneto, magic. I'm a big fan of Peach Momoko and magic, so there we go. That was my cover of the week, and I'm still just going to do Lonely City for my interior for Cliff Chang.
Nice.
All right. Will, do you want to go first with your pick of the week?
Yeah, sure. I think it was the last book we talked about, and just because I feel like both of you will pick something different, and I want to be a little bit different, I want to go with the refrigerator book, just because I found it to be such a fun and entertaining read, just something different from the whole Batman and fear state thing that's going on, just something different, fun, and exciting. So Refrigerator Full of Heads is my pick of the week.
Excellent. I'm definitely going to have to go back and reread that one.
Mine we also talked about and is probably going to be pretty obvious. I am a Not All Robots fan, so
yeah,
this is definitely it for me this week, and it makes me laugh. There's a couple of moments in here that are definitely hilarious, fun worthy, but this one definitely takes some darker turns. We're starting to get into some of the more intense things going on in this universe, and very, very entertaining read. And yeah, it might be my favorite thing Mark Russell's done. It depends on how this all rolls out in the end, but yeah, really great.
Nice.
I agree. I think that like if Mark Russell wasn't already on people's radar, this is going to put Mark Russell on the radar of a lot of people. I hope it does. Once again, I feel like it's this weird, like the people that I'm talking to know about Not All Robots, but then I feel like maybe some other people who are just casual comic readers or, it's not on those lists. So we'll see.
Chaos is saying the millions who died in Orlando and the early issues wasn't dark. No, I think because it was abstract, you weren't seeing it. You were just hearing about it. And that was able to be satire and kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
But this, when you see it up close and personal, the stuff that's going on to people, like it definitely starts to get a little personal now.
It does. And I think that, like I said, it keeps having this conversation of like, where are humans' roles in extreme capitalism and like when the robots take over, but then where's robots' roles? Because in this issue, it's like the mandroids are taking over. So the mandroids are replacing the robots. It gets weird. I love it though, a lot. Alrighty, so my pick of the week, one that we didn't really get a chance to talk about is a book that I'm absolutely loving so much, and that is Killer Queens by David Boer. Queer assassins in space and just getting into all sorts of trouble. I'm really loving it. This is the issue 3 out of a 4-issue run, and man, I really hope that it gets extended. It's so much fun. It's like Star Trek and I don't know, Fast and Furious. I don't know, whatever. It's like Star Trek, but really fun and really gay, and I love it.
Yeah, shout out to David Boer, awesome creator.
Yeah,
and he's got a
seriously.
new book he just announced recently, an image book coming.
Oh, that's right. Yep. I think that I went to go order that one, but it wasn't available for order yet, so I'll have to keep an eye on that.
Now, before we sign off, did both of you see the Batman trailer?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
Yep. I think out of everything that I saw on DC Fandomy, I don't know, did they call it fandom or fandom? I really don't know, but Fandom. I think out of everything I saw, that was the thing that I was most excited for, or at least has been getting the most buzz. So that's pretty cool. I was already sold. Like Robert Pattinson, I know he was in Twilight, and that's pretty much the only thing that I know him from. And I think he got a lot of crap for it because he's, Edward from Twilight. But I truly think that at the character's core, Batman is an emo boy. Batman is the eternal emo kid. So I think that like that actor playing him fits so well. I love it.
Yeah. What do you think, John?
I mean, I have a ton of faith. So I mean, I think I'm in a funny place because like when they first announced Pattinson, so many people up in arms, and then they announced like, oh, he's not working out, which was, by the way, like total clickbait garbage. Like the guy's working out, he's just not gonna like bulk. His thing was like, I'm not gonna go Batfleck mode. That's not where I'm going with this. And so ton of people complaining, and I'm like, I have a ton of faith in Pattinson. He's a very talented actor. Like, just give him the space. And I have a ton of faith in Matt Reeves. I love his Planet of the Apes films. I think they're really, really great. So I didn't need this trailer. Like for me, it was like, I will see this movie. I don't need this trailer. I watched the teaser and I was like, whatever. Like it just didn't blow me away. But I'm like, I don't care. Like it's a trailer. After Suicide Squad's the original Suicide Squad trailer burned a lot of bridges for me. I don't put any stock in it, right? This trailer I liked a lot more, but I'm not putting stock in it. Like the movie is going to be entertaining because the people involved are quality. So I'm like, I'm good to go. I had one complaint about this trailer. I did enjoy it. I had one complaint. I don't need Batman to be 100% bulletproof. That bugs me. The whole point of Batman is he's fast and he's strong and he's smart and he knows how to fight. He doesn't need to like walk around in full bulletproof armor. So that sequence it of course the trailer builds to it, and it's very exciting in the trailer to see two guys with machine guns shooting at Batman, and he's like whipping around and beating them all up, and you're like, wow, that's really cool. But I'm like, they're shooting him with machine guns, and he's just like walking, like, hey, nope, bullets bounce off me. I'm Superman. It doesn't faze me at all. Pow, pow, I got you guys. So I'm bothered by that. There's no logic to that. even if you were wearing full Kevlar, the top range stuff, if people shoot me with machine guns, you get pushed back a little bit. I don't care how buff or whatever you are. You get pushed back. He's getting shot by 3 guys, and he's just like waltzing right through them. Gonna punch you guys. I don't care. And this is my thing. Why do bad guys not shoot at Captain America's feet when he hides behind the shield? Right? Why do they not shoot his feet? He's holding the shield up. His feet are right there. Shoot him in the foot. Battinson's got this mask that reveals a ton of his face. Shoot him in the face. Why are you guys shooting him in the chest? Shoot him in the face. You got a machine gun. You're just spraying bullets. How does nobody get the face shot on this guy?
I love that's where your suspension of disbelief ends. Where you're like,
right there.
that. Yeah,
just has to die already.
Yeah.
My thing is like Batman is not bulletproof. I just want him to be like fast and quick and brutal. I don't want this like his armor protects him from point blank machine gun fire. Like his armor protects him. I think I saw somebody tell me I comment, so I made a TikTok about this, and somebody commented like they read that this new Batman's armor. They mentioned that the armor weighs 100 pounds and protects him from bullets, and I'm like, how does he move so fast if he's wearing 100 pounds of armor? How does he move so fast? This is ridiculous.
He's got bat speed.
You just said.
Bat morphine.
I'm sure that it's going to be very entertaining in the movie and that I won't be bothered by it when it's cut together or whatever. But it irked me to watch him just be like Superman for 10 seconds. So, there you
Scott
go.
has a pretty good point. Well, they are going to shoot at Cap's feet now, and Captain America's blood is on your hands, John.
I'm down for that. Get him in the ankles, right? You know that Hans Gruber would be like, shoot him in the foot. He's like, shoot the glass. I don't care about the guy's feet, right? Get them in the feet. That's a Die Hard reference for you older folks.
Cool.
Alrighty. That's pretty much all the news, the comic book stuff that I have. What about you folks? Anything else?
No, I think that's about it. You gonna go watch Dune again?
I'm gonna go watch Dune again. Tomorrow night, so shameless plug. Tomorrow night on Comic Chop News, my friend Dan and my friend Scott, who's here in the chat, we're actually going to be talking about the movie. We are really big Dune nerds. We've read the book together. We've read it separately. Dan and I have multiple Dune tattoos. So we love this book pretty hard. And I think that we have some pretty strong feelings. So you can watch us talk about our very strong feelings on the movie adaptation of the book. So that'll be tomorrow on Comic Chop News.
Nice.
Yeah. John, what about you? You actually do my favorite show on YouTube.
It's not Dungeons and Dragons, right?
No.
Saturday morning, my girls and I usually talk comics. Kate is on a camping trip with her bestie, so it's Charlie and I. I know she is all caught up on Strange Academy because they dropped a second trade of that.
Yeah, they
so
did.
We'll definitely discuss that. I will be done with Wonder Woman Dead Earth, so I will discuss that. So yeah, it'll be Charlie and I hanging out on the couch in the morning, having bagels and talking comics. I am prepping a new Comic Gories show. We're doing a Halloween special a week from Monday. It'll technically be November 1st, but it's really close to Halloween. So we'll have community 8. There they are. There's 8 fingers. 8 community members dressed in costumes, having some shenanigans and showing off awesome covers. So November 1st, be there or be square.
Ooh, excellent. I loved being on Comic Gories, even though I tragically lost because due to the 30-second buzzer. But I love being in the chat for that. I love watching. Yeah. Excellent.
We'll have you back again soon, just to redeem your experience.
Yeah, I thought I was prepared last time, but the show will have to be prepared for me next time. Yeah. Alrighty. Well, folks, thank you so much for being here. Also, like I said, I'll be on Comic Chop News tomorrow night talking about the new Dune movie. But you can also find me here on this channel on Sunday talking with my friend Mars. She went to Baltimore Comic Con, so I know she's going to be talking about that. So I'm really excited to hear her scream about Baltimore Comic Con and all the books that we loved and hated, and come find out what creators we think like the smell of their own farts. All right. Bye, guys. Have a good night.
Bye.